The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
All right, Kyle, quick story before we get into what's going to be one of the biggest games in Vancouver Canucks history. So I was on my road trip, obviously. I saw my nephew in Edmonton, and he cheers for the Vancouver Canucks. And he said at school, he's getting bullied. Not just, given a hard time. He's getting bullied because he cheers for the Vancouver Canucks. He's wearing his Vancouver Canucks hat. So Game 7, do it for Canucks Nation, Vancouver. Do it for Brock Boeser. Do it for my nephew. Let's fucking go. You're listening to Locked On Canucks.
Do it so I don't suffer from erectile dysfunction, man.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, happy game day and welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks and also a Canucks writer since 2013, currently with Daily Hive Vancouver. Before we dive into today's episode, we got to thank you for tuning into Locked On Canucks because guess what? It is your Canucks every damn day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you go like, follow, subscribe, maybe even leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube.
Bum bum.
Kyle's going to be one of the biggest games in Vancouver Canucks history coming up today. And you know what? The odds are stacked against Vancouver. They were stacked against Vancouver since they came into this series, right? 23 of 24 writers at ESPN picking the Edmonton Oilers. And now, of course, we get the announcement that Brock Boeser will not play in Game 7. But guess what? It don't matter because the Vancouver Canucks, I still believe they can win this game. We're going to tell you why coming up. But before we do that, Kyle, vibe check, buddy. How you doing? How you feeling? Happy Game 7.
Happy Game 7. We've been through it all this playoff journey. Canucks fans in general have been through a lot. That being said, because of Beggsy, because I've talked to him a lot over the last 24 hours, straight up, I called this guy at 9:30 at night at the end of his road trip to bother him so he can console me and give me some therapy because it's hard, man. It's hard. Continuing to get the news that players are going to miss games. Now, we'll add that I was in a better place yesterday after a Game 6 ass kicking right on Saturday. I woke up on Sunday morning really early. I was about to say what I got. I got some vegetables, if you know what I'm saying. Not the green lettuce. I got those other vegetables. I went over to Brom Lake. I sat on a rock, and I just decompressed. That being said, when I got Wi-Fi back around 4 p.m., I found out about the news about Brock Boeser. So it's been me being all over the place. But on this Monday morning, to be more specific, Game 7 Monday, bro, I'm confident, man. It's all lining up for the Canucks to, again, embarrass the Edmonton Oilers. And we're still given that chance here in Game 7 on May the 20th. So I'm all in. I'm looking forward to it. I'm entertained. And, yeah. I don't want to lose any more hair, man. This is something else, man. I just want to win, man. I want to win so bad. There's nothing I wanted more bad than beating the Oilers in Game 7 of round 2. I can't believe how small-minded I've become, but this matters so much to me. Beggs, you want to answer that? Like, you know me for a long time. Why does it matter so much for me to win a round 2 matchup? Like, for me, it's always been banner or bust, championship or bust, not round 2 victory or bust. But this means a lot to me.
Well, I think it's a huge deal on a number of levels. I think first and foremost, we got two Canadian rivals who don't really have much of a playoff history together because throughout history, one team has dominated the other one. So it's a big moment for the story of the Edmonton Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks, which is, again, spanned decades without being all that exciting. But I think more than that, and I read this coming out of Edmonton this morning, this is the biggest game of the McDavid and Draisaitl era. These guys have been in the playoffs. Their first playoff run was 2016-17, where they did lose a Game 7. And, what are we pushing? Almost a decade of Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. These guys have yet to even win a conference finals game. Never mind make the Stanley Cup finals or win the Stanley Cup. They have yet to win a conference finals game. You got to think it's going to happen someday for them. But man, oh man, if the Canucks can pull off the impossible and beat the Edmonton Oilers tonight, I think that would be one of the craziest stories in the NHL. Dude, it would be the craziest story in the NHL. And you know what? This has been the craziest series of round 2. I would argue probably even the best series of the playoffs so far. 5-1 goal games aside from Game 6. Man, oh man, the drama's been there. And again, if this Canucks team missing Brock Boeser down to their third string goalie can pull this off, and I do believe they can do it. I'll get into it. It would be one of the craziest stories in the NHL, and it would be some sad times over in Edmonton. But you know what, man? Those guys bullying my nephew, they
Come on.
deserve it, man. So F the Oilers, F the Oilers fans. Let's go, baby.
Yeah. F them kids, man. I always say it, man. F them kids. No, it would be again, I've said it so many times. Not only do I want to be the best version of myself in this thing called my life, I also want to be the most hated person in Edmonton. Straight up. It would be very, very funny, hysterical. And there's an opportunity for that tonight. A full 60 minutes. A lot of battle, a lot of commitment. And you got to believe, man, a lot of willingness to do this for Brock Boeser. I'm not trying to look for a silver lining here because it's way beyond hockey, right? Get well soon, Brock Boeser. Take your time. We'll see you next year. Thank you for everything you've done. But you have to believe that that dude is everyone's favorite in the locker room based on what he's gone through, based on just the person he is. He seems like a funny dude, a good dude, like the nicest guy in the world type energy. But then he also has the intangibles, right? On the ice, he's transformed himself into one of the hardest working players on the team. He scores clutch goals, right? He's the dude in the dog pile. The willingness for this team to do it for Brock and just potentially, I know it's impossible based on timelines, but you never know. You never know. They win this game. They get to the Stanley Cup Finals in 3 weeks. Maybe he comes back. Who knows, right? Hockey players are tough. I'm pretty sure a lot of players in this league have played with weird injuries, strong injuries, vital injuries, and did their thing. You know what I'm saying? So again, that willingness to do it for Brock has to be there.
Yeah, 100%. And I think about how clutch Brock Boeser's been for this team in the playoffs so far, right? I mean, one of their key
Yeah.
contributors throughout, one of the best stories in the NHL. I think, even the most pathetic of Oilers fans. I shouldn't actually say that. There's some hate for Brock Boeser. I was going to say the most pathetic of fans are even getting behind Brock, but that's not true. I've seen some nasty stuff being said because, hey, it's the internet, man. There's all kinds of crazy people out there.
Can I say something? I made a YouTube short or a TikTok earlier, and I was like, I started the TikTok off with like, yo, no Brock Boeser, no Demko, blah, 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 but we can do this. We have Ilya Mikheyev, right? Because I believe maybe Mikheyev wants to step up today. No, straight up, I actually believe. You can't make this ish up. This whole season has been storybook-like, and how ironic would it be if Ilya Mikheyev stepped up today and scored 2 goals, okay? For real. Anyways, the comments already flooded. They're saying that I'm already making excuses for what's about to happen. First of all, I'm not making no excuses. I still think we're going to win. Watch the whole video, you idiots. And second of all, bro, I just mentioned that we're missing our all-star goaltender, Olympic-like goaltender, and our leading goal scorer in the regular season and the playoffs. That's not me making excuses. That's just me stating facts. Like, we're talking about the world of sports. Many teams don't move on with that much adversity. And I'm pretty sure if the Oilers didn't have McDavid or Draisaitl, y'all wouldn't even know how to put on your jerseys. You idiots. No, for real. It's just the truth. It's not excuses. It's just facts, man. It's like, it's not Carson Soucy off with an injury. It's not Pius Suter off with an injury, right? It's not Casey DeSmith off with an injury. It's like, dude, it's Demko and Boeser. It's like, it's why there's a bit of a lull in the air, right? Game 7, holiday Monday, it's different vibes. A little bit of I wouldn't say a dark cloud, but like tempered emotions. That all being said, I hope that if anyone's watching the game, watching this and then going to the game today, yo, bring that energy, bring that support. This team has been so resilient. They've shown you the impossible, and don't stop believing that the impossible stops now. Because it's one thing to lean on the Magic, but we lost Demko and now we lost Boeser, but we still have Lindholm, we still have Pettersson, we still have Hughes, we still have Miller. We still have a good crop at the top, right? The cream of the crop is still pretty noteworthy, and that speaks for the depth on this team. Straight up, we talk about the overall depth being better than the Oilers. Even at the top, we have 4 really good players. Really good players.
100%.
2 of which have 1 goal,
Yeah.
1 goal in 12 games. Can you talk on that? Quinn Hughes and Pettersson, 1 goal in 12 games? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and honestly, that's one of the reasons why I'm believing tonight. I mean, the Canucks have made it this far without Elias Pettersson having his A game, without Quinn Hughes having his A game either. Quinn Hughes has no goals and 9 assists in 12 games. Pettersson, I don't have it in front of me, has 1 goal and 4 or 5 assists or 6 points in these playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, again, not Pettersson-like numbers, not Quinn Hughes-like numbers. And that's why I think in a game 7 with those 2 guys, and we saw what they did even in the bubble playoffs, right? I know it's a different atmosphere, but we got 2 of the most talented players in the NHL on this team, okay? Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson, they've been we did the power ranks. Elias Pettersson isn't even one of the 8 best Canucks so far in the series so far in the playoffs. Quinn Hughes
That's
probably
crazy.
not a top 3 guy on this team so far in the playoffs. So I think there's a chance for those guys to elevate their game even further. And
For Brock.
I think, you talk about momentum not really mattering in this series, right? It goes Vancouver, Edmonton, Vancouver, Edmonton, Vancouver, Edmonton in terms of wins. I look at it in net right now. I don't expect Archer Silovs to have another game where he's going to allow, 5 goals on 27 shots. I also don't expect Stuart Skinner to have another game where he only allows 1 goal, right? And I see game 7s in the NHL historically are low scoring events. And I think we talked about it from the series get-go, right? I mean, yeah, McDavid, Draisaitl, blah, blah, blah. They should figure it out. But the Oilers are more or less a one-line team, maybe a two-line team. We've seen Nugent, Evander Kane step up, Dylan Holloway step up. But in net, there's a huge advantage for the Vancouver Canucks again, which is crazy to say. But again, I don't see Archer Silovs having a poor game for the second night in a row. And I'd be kind of surprised if Stuart Skinner had another good game for the second night in a row. Just because that's what hasn't what's happened in these playoffs.
Okay, so I get it. I even had my homie Roy. We were at the lake yesterday again, doing our thing, and he mentioned that he didn't really think that Shilovs played a strong game on Saturday, and I get it, right? 5 goals against, quote unquote, got to be better. That being said, the Canucks played on Saturday like they were their method of winning a hockey game was leaning on a third string goaltender. You know what I'm saying? Like he just I wouldn't say he had no chance because he could have stopped the Bouchard shot, the Hyman shot, blah, blah, blah. But I can't pin anything on Shilovs in that game. I can't. And I feel as if going into game 7, he knows that as well. And he's not really dwelling on that because I don't think he believes he played a bad game. You know what I'm saying? It's obvious to me. Like he'll be fine. It's just the rest of the guys have to not only bring their desperation to another level, but overall their execution. Like, be those guys, be those skilled guys. We've seen these guys score some beautiful goals straight up. And even honing in on the whole Quinn Hughes thing. I mean, I don't want to say this guy's gotten a pass this postseason, right? But there's been a lot of noise about Elias Pettersson. And Trevor Beggs brought it up last night on our phone call that Quinn Hughes had 17 goals this year. 17 goals. And in the playoffs, he has 0. All in all, get your shot through. There's no, when it comes to game 7, there's no more room for excuses, right? You got to get your shot through in this game, especially on a goaltender like Stuart Skinner. And the silver lining coming out of that game was this guy did not get a lot of work, a lot of challenge. I don't think he's warmed up. I think the Canucks need to exploit that. And there's room there for them to do that. Again, emotional times. I'm excited. And I got to ask you this question, okay? Let's leave segment number 1 on this note. Who has a bigger game? And who has more pressure on them? Quinn Hughes or Elias Pettersson? Because in my mind, I think it's actually Quinn Hughes. He's the captain of the team, bro. He's the captain of the team. This is why we made the decision, right? And now the longest tenured Canuck, Brock Boeser, your pal, he's out for today. The writing is on the wall for, Pettersson to pick up his slack. He's the forward, right? And he's got to do it. He only has $11.6 million. That all makes sense. But Quinn Hughes, you're the captain, bro. This is your moment. Straight up.
I actually think there's 2 different answers there. Yes, who has more pressure on them? I do think it is Elias Pettersson, right? I think, like you said, it's a forward out of the lineup. Elias Pettersson, 1 goal so far in these playoffs. I know he has not been good enough. Quinn Hughes has still had those moments, especially defensively, but Elias Pettersson is farther away from his A game than Quinn Hughes is. So I think Pettersson's got more pressure on him. Who do I think has a bigger game tonight? I do think it's going to be Quinn Hughes. And again, I think this is the time for him to step up offensively. I also think there's a bit of a law of averages too, right? I mean, Pettersson has been battling in these postseason. He's getting better, but you look at Quinn Hughes, and I do think he's primed to break out offensively tonight. And again, I think it could be a low-scoring game. I don't think it's going to take a lot of goals to win this game potentially. That being said, the Canucks got to be near damn perfect at even strength. So I think Quinn Hughes is the bigger game tonight. On the other side, let's talk about some lineup news and notes that have come through in the last few minutes. Let's talk about the blood clot issue. When could Boeser be back? And what are some keys to tonight's game? What do we think is going to happen? More on that on the other side. But before we do that, let's shout out our friends over at Policygenius. All right. So I'm back from rocking this beautiful Canucks sweater in Edmonton, and I survived. But, just in case I didn't survive, I did have that nice big old life insurance policy to make sure my wife and children would be okay if I were to, get offed by some crazy Oilers fan, okay? And I found that policy with Policygenius. With Policygenius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year for $1 million of coverage. Some options offer same-day approval and avoid unnecessary medical exams. Policygenius helps you compare your options from top companies, and their team of licensed experts is on hand to help talk you through it. Talk to a team of award-winning agents who will walk you through the process step by step and easily compare quotes from America's top insurers in just a few clicks to find your lowest price. Policygenius gives you unbiased advice from a licensed expert support team. They have no incentive to recommend one insurer over the other. So you can trust their guidance, baby. And they have thousands of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot from customers who found the best fit for their needs. Check life insurance off your to-do list in no time with Policygenius. Head to policygenius.com/lockedon or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com/lockedon NHL.
People. We back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks, Kyle Bowen, Trevor Beggs, and more importantly, you and you. One love to the Don'tos Art Lab for giving us the space to produce the show. They've been taking care of this West Coast bias for a long time, and I'm pretty sure we're going to take care of it for a long time in the future as well, especially in the immediate future when we start talking about the Western Conference Finals, okay? The Dallas Stars and the Vancouver Canucks. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, and we're going to embarrass the Edmonton Oilers. We truly are. And we're going to put an end to this era. And I want to bring up 2 points, okay? That kind of connect with the spiel that I've just been on. Okay, let's go back in time, Trevor. Can we do that, please? Can we go back in time? Look at this comment right here from Infamous, one of my favorites, okay? Join the Discord, link in the bio. He's saying it's pretty crazy that game 80 of the season between Edmonton and Vancouver essentially decided who got home ice tonight. Remember back in the day when you said home ice didn't matter? Remember when he said that? It didn't matter? And I was just, I was just going in on making sure the Canucks locked it down. Essentially, I wanted them to get the first place spot in the Western Conference as well. But home ice doesn't matter. Home ice doesn't matter, bro. Home ice matters. We're the inexperienced team. We're the underdog. I know the fans may be a little nervous going into the game, but maybe, just maybe, they prove us wrong again. And bring it, because I've been saying it all playoff long. They've been really our Conn Smythe winners, and maybe they bring us over the top tonight against Edmonton.
There we go. Like a little Seahawks 12th man energy right there. I know how much you love the Seahawks, buddy. But yeah. But yeah, no, I think I'm going to eat my cake on that one, man, because I did say that, it doesn't necessarily matter home versus away. And I think statistically that's been the case throughout time. But man, the Canucks fans have been something else in these playoffs. And look, I'm not really expecting it tonight, but you've seen 2 of McDavid's worst playoff games ever in this postseason at Rogers Arena, again, lined up against JT Miller. So I think the fans can bring that energy, and Brock Boeser. But I think the fans can bring that energy tonight. I believe they will bring that energy. And again, the Canucks have only played 12 ever games, game 7s. And obviously not all of this has been a home ice. So this is a historic night. And again, I think I saw a stat that this is the seventh ever game 7 between 2 Canadian teams. So man, hockey history is being made tonight. And I do believe, again, that the Canucks, with the hands on their side, can pull this off. Now, Kyle, I'm going to throw this at you. You're not going to like me for it. Here, let's run a little Trevor's trivia.
Trevor's trivia starts now.
All right, so the Canucks are 6-6 all time in game 7s. Can you name the 6 players who have scored game 7 winning goals for the Vancouver Canucks?
Burrows.
Yeah.
Burrows. Brent Sopel, Naslund. Who was it? Like one of those guys against St. Louis in game 7?
Nope.
Brendan Morrison, Trevor Linden.
Guys, but not. Trevor Linden had one in 2007 against the Dallas Stars.
Pavel Bure.
Pavel Bure had one in 94, the game winner against the Flames. Double overtime. So you got 3 of 6.
Can you give me the years? Can you give me the years?
So the years you're missing are 1992, which I don't think you'll get, 1995, and 2003.
2003 against St. Louis. Who scored the game winner against St. Louis? Like, it was Naslund, Sopel, Brendan Morrison, Todd
Bertino. BMO.
There you go. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, there you go. See, I'm trying my thing. Cortnell.
Yeah, did you have 4 for 6. 4 for 6. You're missing 92 and 95. I'll give you 5 more seconds.
92, dude. I wasn't even born, bro. I was in my dad's ball sack. Well, maybe I escaped. Who knows? I gotta do the math there. Okay.
I don't think you get 92. Tom Fergus scored the first ever game-winning goal in a Game 7 for the Vancouver Canucks in 1992. And Cliff Ronning had one in 1995 as well. So I think it's
Okay.
interesting when you look at that list and you think of like kind of depth players stepping up and scoring the big goals. A lot of those are kind of star players. Now, Trevor Linden scored at the end of his career when he was a bottom six player. Tom Fergus wasn't a star player.
Oh yeah, the
But you look at the
Tippin,
other four, and
Poland.
Alex Gross, Brendan Morrison, Cliff Ronning, Pavel Bure, all top line players. So, I look at tonight's game and we've mentioned it, Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson. It's like you want the depth players to step up. The Canucks' depth has been better than the Oilers in this series, but tonight is a night for a guy like Quinn Hughes, who's wearing the C, and Elias Pettersson, who's making the big boy bucks, to step up for your Vancouver Canucks. And I truly believe they will.
Well, can you talk about it more specifically? Like, what are the lines looking like tonight? I was looking at what Jeff Patterson tweeted out yesterday, and I wasn't really liking it because I feel as if they've already abandoned the whole Lindholm Pettersson experiment. But I don't know what they're doing tonight on their game day skate. But I really hope they don't trot Pettersson out there with Höglander and Podkolzin. You know what I'm saying? Like, give him Lindholm. Give him one of the best players for the Canucks in the playoffs. Like, he still needs that support, especially in a must-win game. Like, don't get me wrong. I want Pettersson to put it on his shoulders, but I don't have the confidence, or I don't think he has the confidence to carry a line right now. Let him be a piece to the puzzle because I think you're going to get the most out of him. And right now they need the most out of Pettersson. So what do you think the lines are going to be? Have they already leaked? Let us know.
Yeah, the lines haven't leaked, but what Taka did say, because it was a very optional morning skate. So basically, the only guys that play are going to be the scratches. But the only real change is that Podkolzin is out. Again, Podkolzin at practice yesterday skated with Elias Pettersson and Ilya Mikheyev.
Okay,
so
okay.
Podkolzin is out, and Mikheyev and Lafferty are in. Now, I think the easiest changes you make to the lineups are you kind of keep things the same. You have Pettersson, Höglander, Lindholm, who was the best line in Game 6. You keep Bluger, Joshua, and Garland together. And then you'd have Miller, Suter, Mikheyev, which is a big dip down from Boeser. But again, JT Miller has been one of the best players in these playoffs so far. And then you have a fourth line of PDG, Amon, and Sam Lafferty. So that's what I think the Canucks will roll tonight. Now, I think there's a big asterisk there because I do believe they're going to probably go down to two lines at some point. Or, load up a Miller, Pettersson, Garland line, something like that along the way. Or even a Lindholm, Miller, Pettersson line who scored the game winner in Game 5. So
let me lay it out. Here. Let's get emotional here, okay? Let's bring up another storyline, okay? 14 months ago, 15 months ago, for the past 2 years, there was that narrative out there too, right? That Pettersson and Miller just don't get along. Okay? There was even that interview with Pettersson at the All-Star game with Elliot Friedman, I think 15 months ago in Miami or whatever the All-Star game was last year, right? And Pettersson said something amongst the lines that, yeah, both these guys are different guys. Miller's a different guy than I am, blah, blah, blah. Again, this narrative, these two aren't the closest. Now let's fast forward to the now. Game 7, Brock Boeser's out. Why not? Why not see Miller and Pettersson play the whole game together today? I would be down with that. And what if they have some magic together? Again, we're talking about a storybook-like season. The Canucks have never won the Cup before. We weren't supposed to be here. All these random things have been happening all season long. And what if that's another piece to this huge puzzle that's being built? And that's Pettersson and Miller uniting to put the team on their back. Together. I can see it, man. I can see it because, again, Trevor Beggs, call me out if I'm wrong. I don't see Pettersson being the driver until he gets his swagger back. It's just the truth. He needs an all-star by him. Okay, am I wrong on that? Am I being too nice to him? It is what it is. I know he's making 11.6, but I don't trust the guy to do it by himself right now.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Although I will say I do think things are moving in the right direction. Like I said, that I think that line was the Canucks' best line in Game 6. I thought Pettersson did a good job of creating space more so than he hit earlier in the series and earlier in the playoffs. But that being said, I think, and I mentioned it, right, that I think there's a strong case that the Canucks are going to go down to two lines tonight, and you might see something like, again, maybe it's something like Lindholm, Joshua, Garland, and then you see a Miller, Höglander, Pettersson line or something like that, right? But it'll depend on game script as well. If the Canucks are leading, you might be more tempted to roll four lines. And again, if you load up those top two lines, then your bottom two lines are not so great. Although, credit to guys like PDG, Teddy Bluger, I think have been better the last couple of games as well. So, Rick Tocchet said this morning, kind of name checked Ilya Mikheyev and Sam Lafferty, two guys who are drawn back in. And he said they need to step up and be better. So hopefully the scratch tactics work and you've motivated two guys who have not been good in these playoffs to bring it tonight, because it's a one game do or die for your Vancouver Canucks and the Edmonton Oilers. And man, oh man, here's another reason why I think the Canucks can win this game is I think it's the even strength battle as well. And I think, they've won the even strength battle throughout the series, maybe not on the shot clock for the most part. But I think they've won the even strength battle on a number of nights when it matters, right? I think game script's important too. Like game 3, they have a big lead and they start allowing a ton of shots. Game 6, they were kind of half asleep playing with house money. But for the most part in the series, they've been the better team in even strength. I think they can keep that up tonight, even without Brock Boeser, because, you've seen guys in the bottom 6 going as well. Another reason I think they need to do it is because the penalty kill, which has been fantastic, they kill out 10 straight penalties. You're playing with fire with this Edmonton power play. Now, that being said, it's a game 7. I think penalties are going to be a bit harder to come by as well. The refs tend to put their whistles a bit away in game 7. So I think that bodes well for the Canucks, even though they've killed off 10 straight penalties. You're playing with fire if you're taking penalties against this Oilers power play.
Oh, yeah.
Kyle, let's wrap up the other side. Let's get to some comments. Game 7, Canucks versus Edmonton. Go Canucks, go.
Wait. Hold up. I've cut you off a lot in this episode. I'm so sorry. Just because I'm emotional, okay? Sometimes I forget I'm doing an episode with you, and I feel like I'm just talking to you, okay? For real. Because sometimes I need Trevor Becks to be my friends, okay? I need to take him away from you and you and you and you, and I just need Trevor to listen to me because I get emotional. Before we get to break, can you just close your eyes? Can you just close your eyes, Beggsy? Can you do that for me right now? Thanks, bro. There you go. Trevor, who we shouting out on this episode of Locked On Canucks?
All right, let's wrap up the show. I'm going to give you another reason why the Canucks are going to win on the other side, and it's to do with ESPN, okay? Those guys. ESPN, man, get out of here. Okay. We'll talk about that on the other side, but first, let's show our friends over at eBay Motors. All right, passion, drive, and patience. That's the formula for winning championships, and it's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts to choose from your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash, baby. With all the parts you need, the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Oh, baby, go Canucks, go. Keep your ride or die live at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions by eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers.
Boom, bam. Shout out to eBay Motors. Shout out to the Canucks, man, for real. People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. My name is Kyle Bowen. That right there is Trevor Beggs. Hit the like button and subscribe to the show. We always say it, man. The like button really helps us out a lot, man. We've really grown the show over the last couple of months, and I think it's because we're getting a ton of likes on the videos, and we're getting closer and closer, man, to going on more double dates to Cactus Club with our girlfriends, man. For real, man. Trevor, I can't believe we're 31 years old, and I'm 31 and a half, sorry. And you're almost 31, and we still haven't gone on a double date. Come on, man. What's going on here?
Damn.
What's going on
Honestly,
here? Again, like the video.
I don't have a lot of time away from my kids in general, man. But okay. I'll be down for a double date, bro. Let's go. Yo, bring your girl over tonight, man. We'll have a double date watching Game 7.
Well, think about this, Trevor. Right? I've known you longer than you've known your kids. Okay, do the math. You got to make sacrifices. It's all about your balance. Okay, for real. And today's a pretty big game. I don't know if I'll make it over to your crib tonight because the game's a little early and I got a little bit of work to do, and I don't want to miss a minute of the action. That being said, there is a chance that I watch the game in bed with some melatonin, okay? If you know what I'm saying. If the game goes to overtime, I don't know if I'm going to be watching overtime. For real, man. I don't know, man. I'm just emotional right now. I'm emotional. I'm all over the place. This is something else. Can we just win a game easily? Like, going into the last game, the game that we got ass kicked, the Canucks played, 9 straight one-goal games? Can we win a game 5-1? Can we do that, please? Can we do that? Yo, Trevor, can you close your eyes again before you go on a spiel? Can you close your eyes again? Can we win a game 5-1, please? Please. And put an end to the Oilers, okay? Think about this. This game is so important. It's only a round 2 matchup, and again, I'm always cup or bust. I'm banner or bust, okay? I'm starting what's one of those things? I'm starting a petition to knock down the division banners because I don't want the division banners at Rogers Arena anymore, okay? You know what I'm saying? Screw that. We better not hang up a Pacific Division banner next year. I'll be mad. I'll give up, okay? I want championships. But the second round of this year matters so much for so many reasons, right? And you brought up the whole Canadian thing, the Oilers thing. Think about this, okay? There's another layer to this that does connect to those points. If the Canucks beat the Oilers tonight, right? Theoretically speaking, there's a 50% chance that we eliminate the Oilers from being contenders ever again in the division, right? Straight up. You start that window that's opening for the Canucks gets larger, not just because of the moment in the 2024 Stanley Cup playoffs extending, but because you plant that seed of doubt, and not just the Oilers fans, but that organization that, they can't get it done. And moving forward for the Canucks in this new era of Canucks hockey, that would be just so important, and it would add to the percentages of leading us to, again, the ultimate prize. Straight up.
Yeah, it would be a magical moment. But, Kyle, we talked about it throughout Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every day. And, I think the mentality of the Canucks locker room is a big reason why they can win this game. And, Rick Talk has talked about the team, the crest on the jersey. And all I hear coming out of Edmonton is, Leon Draisaitl whining about the post, and Stuart Skinner not taking blame when he's had a bad game, and McDavid giving, vanilla answers and all this stuff. I think the Canucks are a better team than the Edmonton Oilers. You hear it in the interviews. All you hear coming out of Edmonton is mainly whining and BS. Again, I do think, it's a strong locker room, that Canucks locker room. And, it's the beginning of their window, like you said, Kyle. This is a much bigger game for the Oilers in one sense of the word. But I'm going to say this as well. You're praying for a 5-1 Canucks win. That's not really what I think the hockey gods have in store for this
shut
series.
up, man.
I think they have a tight 1-goal game in mind for this series. I think you're going to be stressing out. You're going to be slamming that melatonin, because I think the Canucks are winning in overtime. Game 7 overtime. It's what the series deserves, man. It's what the series deserves, okay? Let's go.
Trevor, stop doing that, man. Okay, can everyone just lay it on Trevor in the comments right now? Can you guys comment F Trevor? Because remember, going into Game 6, Trevor predicted an Oilers win in Game 6 because he wanted to see his prediction come right. Why? Are you trying to become a fortune teller or something like that? You don't want to be selfish, bro? Why are you putting this shit out there? Oh, I swore, my bad, that we have to go through the stressful times. Why can't we have it easy? Trevor, man. Unreal.
You're familiar with the Vancouver Canucks history, man.
Dude, just make it easy. Make it easy. Like 5-1 going into the third period. Please. I'll still be stressing up. It's 5-1 going into the third period, okay? For real. Look at this comment, okay, from Peter. Trevor Beggs is realistic. Trevor Beggs is a dumbass, man. Look at this comment, okay? From Mostly Say Hooray. What a name, okay? He said he's been a Canucks fan since 85. Me and Trevor are just bandwagon jumpers. Well, okay, so what does that mean? How is it our fault, right, that my parents didn't meet in 85 or earlier and didn't, make love before they did in 1992 or 1993, whatever the math is, on the 9 months or whatever.
Be 92, late 92. Yeah.
Unreal, dude. Like, what is it? Come on, man. Like, we had no control over that. All I'm saying is I've been a Canucks fan forever. And today feels just as important as Game 7 did in 2011. Because, again, I want to become the most hated man in Edmonton, okay? For real. If the Canucks win today, give me 3 days, and they will never allow me in Alberta again. That is my goal in life, my new goal. Why you lie? It's the truth. You already know it, Trevor. I don't like being a sore loser. I'm not a sore loser. But against the Oilers, bro, I will wear it like a championship belt. I will be a sore winner because I got that West Coast bias and that West Coast bias only, okay? Beggs, you got a couple more minutes? You want to read some comments before you get out of here?
I do. Let me make one more point too. I mentioned ESPN kind of going into segment 3 here, and obviously everyone knows about the 23 of 24 writers picking the Edmonton Oilers. Ryan Clark, the only reporter to pick the Canucks in 7. So shout out to Ryan Clark. But here's another reason why the Oilers, I think, are cursed and are losing this game. ESPN, you might have seen it online. They already have the Western Conference Finals saying Dallas versus Edmonton. Yeah. And everyone's like game script leak. I think it's a jinx for the Edmonton Oilers to have it prematurely posted on ESPN website that they're facing the Dallas Stars in the 3rd round. Nah, get out of here, man. That's the the curse of the Vancouver Canucks might be lifted today, and the curse of the Edmonton Oilers, they might be shackled to it after this one.
Shackled. I love that word, man. Okay, before we get to the comments, can I go on a spiel? Again, I don't know how many minutes you have here. You're the father here, but I'm emotional. Okay, can you be here for me? Can please?
I'm here for you, buddy.
So I'm with the homies yesterday. We're standing on a rock, Brom Lake. Again, I took some vegetables, man. All right, the same kind you can find at Safeway. Well, not really, but the same name, okay? I did my thing. I'm chilling. I'm relaxing. And then these people, my homies, bandwagon jumpers, right? They have the audacity to be talking about the league being scripted. It's all rigged. It's all for entertainment. They already know who's going to win the game, right? They're talking about this ish. And that's what bandwagon jumpers do because they get into betting and they see these things like ESPN already having the Oilers in the Western Conference Finals and they connect the dots. It's like, dude, maybe, just maybe, the league and the referees want one team to win over the other. But star players and athletes who have trained their whole life, competitive guys, they can still overcome that. They can. The sports are not scripted. Again, they may be leaning towards one team to win because it's better for ratings and whatnot. I may have time for that argument, but it's not the WWE. Like, these two teams are not meeting up and saying, okay, you're going to win today. Remember, you got to lose today. It's not like that. It's never going to be like that. Have some more common sense, people. People actually try their asses off in life, okay? They work to a point to get into moments like this. Nobody's giving that up for the betterment of an organization. These guys want to win more than anything. And again, they can overcome obstacles. Now, speaking of those obstacles, a lot of people in the comments right now talking about the Oilers getting some help from the referees tonight. Bro, don't put that out there. Don't do it. Don't do it. Let's not talk about the refs. Let's just win this game the right way, okay? Anyway, so let's go to Mother Knucker 22 from Dallas. This dude, I think he has tickets to game 1 of the Western Conference Finals already bought because it would start on Thursday, I believe. He's in the Discord, and he wants the Canucks obviously to be there. He's from Dallas, a big Canucks fan from Dallas. Let's win the game so this guy can enjoy his life on Thursday, okay? And look what he's saying right here. Leave nothing in the tank or the balls. What? If they do not finish the game on empty tonight, they did not skate hard enough. Trevor begs, it all starts with the effort. The Canucks have to be hungry. Hungry. Now, you predicted that the Canucks weren't hungry on Saturday. They would lose, and look what happened. Again, you put it out there in the universe, and look what happened.
Yeah, and I do think the Canucks can be hungrier tonight, right? I think you arguably have the hungriest player in the NHL right now in JT Miller, right? Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl got more talent, but I don't know if anyone works harder or is more hungry to win than JT Miller. So I think JT Miller, again, we haven't talked about him much in this episode, but I think he is the catalyst for your Vancouver Canucks tonight. And he's really going to have to bring it if he's skating with two kind of third, fourth line quality guys on his wing. But man, oh man, I think the JT Miller, we've talked about it for years now, the straw that stirs the drink in Vancouver. And I think, the tone could be set early on with a couple big hits. And look, the Canucks have the script, man. They've done this before against this Oilers team. They come up flying. Their forecheck's been hard. And I think, again, they can do it tonight as well here in Rogers Arena. Man, oh man, I cannot wait. Game 7, baby. Here, I want to bring up this other comment too from Ricky D. This one got me a little bit riled up. He said, I prepare to be either a Canuck fan or an Oiler fan at the end of the night. No.
What?
No. I'm none of that. You know what? Here's the thing. You want me to read it again? He said,
No. Read this one, please.
Okay. So Kurt Richardson says Skinner's going to crumble Game 7 in hostile territory. Look, again, I don't think Skinner's going to have 2 good games in a row. I think it's going to be a tight checking game. I don't think the Oilers or Canucks are going to give up a lot. And it's going to come down to who makes that bigger save. And I think I trust Shelovs in that role a lot more than Stuart Skinner, which is for the 10th time in the last couple of weeks. That is really saying something now. Again, I love bandwagon fans. Okay, I'm gonna throw it out there. I love bandwagoners. Hop on for the good times. It's all good. Us, real fans who've been there since day one. We'll celebrate it more. We'll celebrate harder. But bandwagon fans, it's all good. Just make sure you listen to Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every day. Yeah. But Ricky D is saying I'm going to either cheer for the Canucks or the Oilers at the end of the night. I heard this too, even throughout my trip. Some casual fans saying, "Well, it doesn't matter. Just any Canadian team winning would be nice." No, man. No, that ain't the sauce right there. That ain't the sauce. F the Oilers, okay? F the Oilers. F those little 11-year-olds bullying my nephew. Get out of here, okay? I'm cheering for anybody but Edmonton if they make it on. But it won't matter because they're not making it on. Go Canucks. Canucks in 7. I've said it since day one. Let's go.
Honestly, bro, I'll give you that. You did say Canucks in 7 since day one. So you were right about the first round. And Begsy, if you're right again, I want you to buy a lottery ticket, okay? Just the truth. Again, guys, enjoy the game tonight. Game 7. I know the writing is on the wall for the Canucks to lose this game because they don't have their starting goaltender or their best player in the playoffs, Brock Boeser. Now it's like all falling down, bro. It's just part of the story. This organization has never, ever, 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 ever won a Stanley Cup in 54 years. We don't know how to do it. So maybe this time around, it's supposed to be magical like this. And it's not improbable, even though we're missing 2 of our best players, because we have a lot of good players on this team. I've been saying it all season long. For whatever reason, out of nowhere, the Canucks seem very stacked. They seem very stacked. Straight up. If all goes well, if Pettersson and Hughes break out of these goal-scoring slumps, there's a good chance that the Canucks can put an end to this era of Oilers hockey. That's on the line today. 12 months of bragging rights. Maybe 32 years of bragging rights. It's on the line tonight. And it's still possible. This team, it's something different. They've been resilient all year, and they're going to win it for Brock Boeser. And they're also going to win it for Thatcher Demko. Okay? They're going to win it for Thatcher Demko. This guy's been working his ass off in practice, risking his effing career to come back in the playoffs. Why? Because he's going to steal a series against the Dallas Stars. The Canucks are winning the Stanley Cup. Begsy, sign us out.
Hey, let's go. Shout out to the everydayers, the occasional listeners, the first-time listeners, the new subscribers, and those of you who joined us on the live show on YouTube. It don't matter when and where you're listening. We just appreciate you for tuning in. You are what make Locked On Canucks what it is. Again, Game 7 tonight, Canucks and Oilers, going to be one of the biggest days in Vancouver Canucks history. Could be the end of an era for the Edmonton losers, Oilers. Oilers. Oh, sorry about that. Frog in my throat. Let's go. Go Canucks, go. We'll have you covered post-game tomorrow, this week, for the end of time here on Locked On Canucks. It is your Canucks every day. But we got to get out of here and meditate for the next 7 hours before game time. So for now, I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's Kyle Bowen. Go Canucks, go. And you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.
Dude, if the Canucks win tonight, dude, I'm getting rid of all my Cialis, okay? I'm not going to need that anymore.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of